What's going on, guys? So we are inside of our 2021 Coachman Brookstone fifth wheel, and I am pointing at this air conditioning unit right here because last trip out we had a problem with it, and we are planning on going out again this weekend, and I need to get this resolved. But I have something that just came in the mail that I think is going to excite a lot of folks. Before we get to that, let's talk about a few other things. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the famous Noisemaker rodent repeller that I use all over the place. I have two of these in the Brookstone, one here and then one in the basement storage. If I'm quiet, you'll probably hear it. Let's see. It's being quiet at the moment, but it'll probably kick on in a second. There we go. Makes all sorts of crazy noises. You turn it up and you'll see it is absolutely annoying. Makes a door closing noise, dog barking, cats meowing, birds cawing. It makes all sorts of crazy noises. And it's super, super annoying if you're around it. And I got them everywhere. And that's just something I always have to combat when I'm recording out here. But if you all saw the video where I repaired and replaced the wires underneath the back here that a rat had actually gotten into from the back underbelly of the RV, I now have functional lights, which is really nice. So all my lights work, my faders work. These lights right here, these lights back here, and these lights up here stopped working because of a 12-volt wire that goes up the back, under the belly, up the back, and to this wall switch. It had, at least one of the wires, the positive wire, had been eaten through by a rat. These right here are just those little outlets you buy on Amazon. And I can use them as night lights. They have 120 plus USB outlets on here. It's really nice. They work real well, and they're great night lights. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I've been doing a long-term evaluation on the Furrion Chill Cube that's direct dump. Basically, it has the louvers that blow air straight out of the bottom of the air distribution box. This one right here is the ducted version of it. So this one will actually work with our Brookstone. I'll be able to replace one of the air conditioning units, specifically the one in the back that started to make some loud noises and isn't working the way it should be working anymore, with a brand new Furrion Chill Cube ducted air conditioning system. Now, this specific system does not have a thermostat control built into it. Basically what that means is the wall thermostat that you typically see, like the one we have in the Brookstone, cannot connect to this. And because it will not control this, this is going to have a wireless remote very similar to the one that we have in the Surveyor that you can control and change the settings and change the fan speed and do all the different functions that these are capable of doing through a remote control, which is very similar to like a mini split. This is a variable speed unit, and it's going to pull far less power as it starts up, which is one of the reasons why, even though this is an 18,000 BTU rooftop RV air conditioning system, the smaller like Blue Yetis with the 30 amp plug on the side can actually power these things up. That is really, really awesome. They ramp up to, you know, anywhere between about 1,000 to 1,500 watts whenever they're in use, but they draw significantly less power as they're ramping up, and that's one of the reasons why, again, you can use those portable power supplies to power these things. Anyways, I'm going to get this thing unboxed. We're not going to be installing it today. I just wanted to kind of announce this, get you all prepared for it, and if you are wanting to understand the differences between the ducted version versus the standard direct fire version, you know, you'll have that opportunity. Take a moment, subscribe to the channel, so whenever the video on this goes live, which it's not going to be, you know, too far down the road, it's whenever I'm going to have time to be able to install this, you get notified about it and you're able to actually see what this thing is all about, and if this is an upgrade that you might want to do to your own RV. I almost would assume that any RV except Brinkley and maybe a few other brands who are now picking up the Chill Cube lineup would probably want to upgrade to this. The one that we have in the Surveyor has been running non-stop for 6 months, actually longer than that now, 8 months. We got it back, I think, in March or April, and ever since installing it, we've had it not running in a cooling perspective, but the fan stays on 24/7, as long as there's shore power going to the unit. The cooling portion, the compressor, kicks in whenever it needs to condition the airspace. So With this system and the system that's in the Surveyor, there's constantly moving parts drawing air in at a really low speed, so it's feeding the actual interior air of the RV into and past the thermostat sensor, so it's gauging the correct temperature of air, knowing if it needs to kick on or not. Traditional air conditioning systems also put the thermostat inside of the air box on top of the RV, that outside portion you can see whenever you're looking at your RV from the outside. The problem is the air sample it's taking is generally going to be contaminated with the heat that's building up inside of that box because the sun's hitting it. So I hope that makes sense. But this is going to be a really, really unique setup. It's going to be cool that we're able to actually install now both the ducted and the non-ducted version of these units. The ducted version is going in the Brookstone, again, traditional ducted air conditioning system, whereas the non-ducted version went into the Surveyor back in March or April of this year, or 2024, and it's been running flawlessly that entire time up until now, and now we'll be able to test this one as well. Let's get this thing unboxed so you can see what it looks like. You know, I suffer from a real problem, and that's the need to cut boxes open when they just slide off, and this one just slides off and I cut it open. That said, we have the Furrion Chill Cube variable speed RV rooftop air conditioner. Gross weight is about 83 pounds. Net weight's about 75 pounds. Dimensions, here they are for you in case you need to know the dimensions. Again, this is an 18K air conditioning. This does not have the heat pump in it. This is just going to be your air conditioner. What they actually did, which is interesting, is they supplied me with a Furrion thermostat control. I think this is relatively new because I don't think they had this available whenever we installed the other Furrion Chill Cube inside of the Surveyor. But now we have a thermostat control, which I don't need because the thermostat inside of the Brookstone, the Coleman thermostat, is still going to be running 2 of the air conditioning units, and it will still control the furnace. So I'll have a means of turning it off or on, but I do appreciate that they sent that just in case. This one we ordered with the white case, mainly because it's going on an RV that has 2 other white air conditioning units, so we didn't want to put a black shroud around it to make things look weird. But it's a really, really good looking air conditioning unit. Form factor wise, I think it's like a foot shorter than the Coleman units we'll be removing. It was about a foot shorter than the Furrion unit, which is actually right over there, that we removed from the Surveyor. And that was a 15,000 BTU unit, and that could not be started by the Blue Yeti power supply that we had. So whenever we put the Chill Cube in, it started up no problem at all because that, again, that gradual increase in current was the main reason why. But I definitely wanted to show this to you all because I know there's so many folks who have been waiting for this specific set of videos. They've been asking, what about a ducted version? I need a ducted version. And, you know, now that they have a ducted version of it, and they've been installing these, I think, in Brinkley and some other RVs for a while now. So this isn't brand new. But it's definitely going to be one of the first aftermarket installs that you'll see. And as soon as they can squash the demand that RV manufacturers have put on them in terms of getting these and getting them installed on factory units, I'm sure that they're going to be available aftermarket. Hopefully my channel sponsor eTrailer will be able to carry these. But this is absolutely fantastic. Here is the air box right here. So it does have the louvered air box, even though that's a ducted system. I can basically open this up and allow the air to direct dump if I want it to. You can see it doesn't have the louvers that swing like the one that we installed inside of the Surveyor, but it has all your typical controls. The remote control is also in here as well. It's now buried a little bit, but there it is. So that's going to be the remote control for it. And that actually works a lot better for us because I can keep the remote near the sofa in the living room space, and we can control a much quieter air conditioning system directly without needing to go over to a thermostat hanging on the wall. So this works really, really well as long as we don't lose the remote. It will be interesting to see if the other remote that I have can also control it. And I don't know if they removed the swing function from the remote. I don't really need to get into that right now. But did want to show you this because this will be going on the Brookstone soon enough. It'll probably be going on here in the next few days, but the video is not going to come out until we have a chance to edit it and review it and make sure that everything was done properly. But yeah, what do you guys think? This is super cool, pun intended. But let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment below. I know so many people have been asking about this. I know that they will have a heat pump version of this also coming out. I don't think it's available, at least in this format yet. They might be installing it on some newer RVs. I don't know. but this is going to be what we install on the top of the Brookstone, and it will be replacing the Coleman Mach Quiet Cool Edition that's been on the RV since early 2021 when we got the RV. So yeah, this is going to be really, really awesome to install, and that video should be coming out soon enough. So please take a moment, subscribe to the channel so you know when it comes out, and you can also learn about other RV, truck, and accessory related stuff that we talk about on the channel. Anyways, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon.